Aloha, and welcome to the fall edition of the College of Social Sciences Digital Studios Eco Show 2025. I'm Jocelyn Rose.
And I'm Savvy Andrews. In this show, students will discuss a variety of stories about Hawaii's environment.
We'll also feature an exclusive interview with Dr. Chip Fletcher, the Dean of SOEST at the University of Hawaii at Manoa.
Stay tuned for our edition of the College of Social Sciences Digital Studios Eco Show 2025.
Skyline is Oahu's newest mode of public transportation. This rail system is Honolulu's premier transit. But will it ever benefit UH Manoa students? Savvy Andrews has more on this story.
We've seen coverage from various media outlets since the grand opening of the Honolulu Skyline on June 30th, 2023. And as we close out 2025, Hitachi Rail, HART, and the City and County of Honolulu are celebrating another major milestone for Oahu, the launch of Segment 2.
2 minutes from Kapolei to the airport, with certainty. And if you miss that train, there'll be another one coming in 10 minutes.
In early October, I joined the media preview for Seg 2, riding through its 4 new stations, which officially opened to the public October 16th. The 4 new stations include Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, Daniel K. Inouye International Airport, Lagoon Drive, and Middle Street Transit Center. This new stretch, designed to bring passengers closer to where they live and work. Former Honolulu Mayor Kurt Caldwell tells Hawaii News Now it's been a long time coming.
Just hearing arriving at this station, fantastic. I'm going to use it for sure.
In a previous interview, Mayor Rick Blangiardi said Segment 2 will take people where they want to go, to the biggest employment centers, Pearl Harbor, and the airport. But for UH students who live farther out and need a way into town, one big question remains. Will Oahu's new Skyline Rail actually help them? While it promises faster commutes and less traffic, the line still stops miles from campus, meaning real benefits may not arrive until 2030.
The U line goes directly on the H1 freeway to UH, which is pretty cool, but the downside, it comes every hour or so. But if you time it perfectly, you can get there in pretty efficient time, which is really cool.
But what happens if you don't time it perfectly, or the bus isn't efficient? Maybe the U line isn't due for another half hour, so you take the A Express instead and brave the rush hour traffic into town. That A line then heads for Manoa and eventually drops students here at Sinclair Circle. The new system today is a promising one, fulfilling its promise of west side to town commutes of about an hour. And if the line's final segment is actually completed by 2030, with HART estimating full operations beginning in 2031, it may save UH Manoa students in multiple ways, making commuting safer, more affordable, and efficient. Traffic on our trails is also affecting Hawaii's environment and hiker safety. Nicole Lawler takes us down this slippery slope.
Many students are drawn to the University of Hawaii for its outdoor activities, including hiking. Mount Olympus is a popular trail in Manoa Valley, and Ava Morales, a sophomore, shares her experience on the trail.
A lot of stuff went bad. First of all, there was a lot of eroded spots in the trails. There was a lot of puddles where you can just tell people would step and step and step because there was nowhere else on the trail for people to walk, so it would just make puddles deeper and deeper and deeper. There was a lot of areas where there was no trail, the trail was just broken off. A lot can be done in terms of safety with these trails. We did reach a sign at a certain point that said the trail is not maintained up until this point. The old trail said it was a safe trail to go on. I think if it was maintained and just upkept, that would help a lot. I think another huge factor was when it got later was that there were not flags keeping the trail marked. So we made many wrong turns, and they're just flags that led to absolutely nowhere. Flags that led you up a hill, to nothing. You just had to turn around, and it was just like a big guessing game. So I think if the trails were upkept in terms of flags and an actual walking space, I think that would help.
I'm here on the Filipina Trail back in Manoa Valley, one of the highest foot traffic trails and arguably one of the most eroded trails here on Oahu. Throughout the islands, ridge views are dangerous, but regular trail maintenance may help with saving emergency resources from routine saves on the posted but popular trails.
Whether or not trails are like official or not, if people are traveling them, we need to maintain them because the potential cost of saving somebody through like emergency means is a lot more expensive than just maintaining them.
Along with safety, it is important to check trail conditions and to protect the wildlife species that call Hawaii their home. Although there is no immediate solution, checking trail conditions and packing enough water and headlamps can be enough to save you on your next hike.
Not only on hikes are people damaging our ecosystem, some say humans are one of the most invasive species overall. Landon Ujimori tells us how humans are often the ones to introduce invasive species into the environment.
Invasive species are becoming a bigger and bigger problem in Hawaii. I spoke to two professionals to learn more about this issue and what we can do to solve it.
Some of the current pests that we're dealing with, invasive species if you will, are, as you mentioned, koki frog, coconut rhinoceros beetle, little fire ant, just to name a few. There are some populations throughout the islands here and there that we're dealing with. Our job is we have a statewide responsibility. The difficult part about preventing the movement or establishment of these invasive species on different islands is that people fail to realize that a lot of these pests can move on anything. Pests don't only move on agriculture or agricultural crops or commodities. They can move on cars, they can move on equipment, lumber, what have you.
And that's not all. Irresponsible planting practices dating back decades have also affected Hawaii's natural ecosystem.
So we have some invasive trees on campus that have been here for decades. But campus plantings began in 1915, so over 110 years ago, right? And selective procedure for plantings then were mixed. And often it was and is horticulturally interesting over what is safe and healthy for this island ecosystem. That led to several of the trees that we still have on campus today that we now know are invasive.
Fortunately, ordinary citizens are able to help stop the spread of invasive species. Here's how.
We would like the public to call and report pests anytime you see them, even if you're not sure. Give us a call. You can call our hotline, pest hotline number, which is 643-PEST, 643-PEST. Respond to any type of strange animals or strange insect, whatever it is, invasive species. We encourage that.
To learn more about what you can do to stop the spread of invasive species, go to the Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity's website at dab.hawaii.gov.
From Mauka to Makai, human presence affects our environment. Ashley Brown explores if building a seawall is really the answer to prevent human contamination.
Hawaii's beaches are disappearing fast. What were once wide stretches of sand are now narrowed shorelines, pushed against concrete walls built to protect coastal homes and roads. But one of the biggest drivers of this loss isn't just rising seas, it's the seawalls themselves.
And when you build a shoreline structure like a seawall, it prevents that migration of the beach itself, and therefore the beach gets smaller and smaller and smaller until eventually pinches out in what's now known as beach loss.
And the more seawalls that go up, the faster that loss accelerates.
We have a long legacy of just building too close to our shorelines. In the past, the law has said that you only had to build 20 feet from the shorelines. If you have a beach that's eroding a foot per year, you can see that in just a few decades you already have a very serious problem.
As sea level rises and waves push farther inland, erosion is accelerating faster than scientists previously understood.
We found data through satellites. Our projections are 40% of loss could happen within the next decade or two. Seawalls exacerbate a lot of that.
When a seawall interrupts natural erosion, the beach can shrink dramatically.
A classic example that might be familiar to many is Lanipai Beach, which used to have these big, wide, sandy beaches. Many homeowners put in seawalls over a 20-year period. The result of that was the beach got narrower and narrower to the point where there is no more beach.
But disappearing sand is only part of the story.
It also results in a change in ecosystem, so it's no longer a sandy beach. For those recreational users, there's a loss of lateral public access.
To address these growing threats, the University of Hawaii's Sea Grant College program is working with communities and policymakers to develop science-based strategies statewide.
When it comes to what do we do about it, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. It's really you kind of have a whole menu of options and really want to look at the beach and talk to the community to decide what is the best option.
Those options range from dune restoration and stronger coastal setbacks to sand replenishment in urban areas. But in the more vulnerable areas at risk, experts say more difficult solutions need to be considered.
One strategy is purchase the property and make it public domain, make it a park, make it a natural space.
Hawaii's coastal scientists agree the challenge is substantial. Sea levels will continue to rise, and the impacts will only intensify. But the decisions Hawaii makes today will determine whether future generations inherit beaches to enjoy or only stories of the ones that were lost.
Shorelines aren't the only part of our beaches in danger. Under the sea, coral reefs are also struggling to survive. Karen Bessick dives deeper with the program that's working to bring coral back to our reefs.
I was at the Bishop Museum earlier talking to Brian Green about X-Corps and the effort they put in to protect our coral reefs in Hawaii.
Over the last 40 years, ocean temperatures have steadily risen and marine heat waves have increased by more than 50%. As a result, coral bleaching events are happening more often and becoming more severe.
Yeah, hi, I'm Brian Green. I'm an ichthyology research specialist here at Bishop Museum, and I work in a department that we call X-Corps, which is an acronym for the Center for the Exploration of Coral Reef Ecosystems. I would say the major stressors for coral reefs at the moment are rising temperatures and ocean acidification from excess CO2 being absorbed by the ocean water. And both of those are detrimental and accelerating quickly, much faster than we expected even. Main specific focus is filling in gaps of knowledge in biodiversity across the Pacific, specifically on deep coral reefs. It's an area of the coral reef that has not been explored until the last two or three decades, and we're finding incredible diversity at these depths that has until now been unexplored. Well, people should care because coral reefs, they protect us, they protect our coastlines, they act as a buffer from hurricanes and typhoons. They also provide sustenance for over 1 billion people. At some point in the food supply chain of a significant portion of people on Earth, coral reefs play a role. Almost beyond the value is almost beyond comprehension. You can't just put a monetary value on this coral reef's worth that much money.
Brian and his team of X-Corps researchers show how important it is to protect these ecosystems before they disappear. Local actions from reducing pollution to supporting reef-safe practices can make a real difference.
Today's conversation with Brian really showed me how connected we truly are to the ocean. At the end of the day, we really are surrounded by it. Thank you for watching. Karen Besic, College of Social Sciences.
Our own Sophia Musa had the honor of talking to the world-renowned Dr. Chip Fletcher.
In this interview, we'll learn more about a concerning study on sinking land across the islands.
Today, we're honored to have Dr. Chip Fletcher, the Dean of Socs, School of Ocean and Earth Science and Technology at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Could we begin by explaining what exactly land subsidence is?
Land subsidence is, as the ocean rises,
it floods the land. But if the land is moving downward at the same time, it magnifies the effect of sea level rise. Half of the rate of sea level rise in Hilo is due to subsidence of the land because the mass of the volcanoes is bending the Pacific plate downward. Maui is also subsiding because the volcano Haleakala, another source of subsidence here is in the area of Mapunapuna, where we have filled in an old arm of an estuary with dirt and soil, and we've built an industrial area on top of that. The soil is compacting so that the localized rate of sea level rise is more than the actual sea level rise measured by the Honolulu tide gauge out on the coastline. Waikiki is a filled wetland. The fill is compacting, and so there is minor subsidence associated with Waikiki, Kaka'ako, and even Iwalei. The other half of the rate of sea level rise is due to the actual rise of the water related to climate change. As the ocean rises, it causes coastal erosion. It causes the water table underneath the land to rise, and so we get what's known as groundwater inundation. So as the ocean rises, these waves are going to rush across the beach, and they will rush across the roads and communities that are right behind the beach. If it's high tide and our drainage system is filled with salt water, there's no place for that rain to go, and that's called compound flooding. We have an amazing team in my group, which is called the Climate Resilience Collaborative. And so we've created a website where we show all of those different impacts of sea level rise that I spoke about at 1 foot increments of sea level rise, all the way up to 10 feet of sea level rise.
Dr. Fletcher, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing all your insights. Thank you all for joining us on this very special edition of EcoShow 2025, and we will see you very soon. Aloha.
Beyond the depths of our oceans, the concept of aloha aina explores a cultural and spiritual connection to Hawaii's resources. Tiare Sabeano Tsutsui turns to a native Hawaiian practitioner for ways we can protect and preserve our land and natural resources.
A song has the ability to change your relationship to a place. And the music can give you deep connections to different places, even if you're not from those places.
Dr. Kamuela Kimokeo has been sharing Hawaiian music since he was a child. He plays all over Oahu Island, as well as inter-island and worldwide, with Olomona's Uncle Jerry Santos.
I believe the Olelo No'eo, or the wise saying, is He ali'i ka aina he kaua ke kanaka, which is the land is chief and we as people are servants to it.
It teaches us humans this order in which we exist, which I think ties to this, the focus on environment. For us as Kanaka and us as humans, we're more on the younger stage.
When you go to any place, you find the people that are truly connected to that place, and you say, what did your ancestors do to care for this place? And how do we help?
Remembering these stories and remembering and not forgetting history, I think is very important to positioning ourselves in a pono way, in a correct way. I would say to just slow down, listen to the caretakers of a place, because they have knowledge that has been passed down through generations. They have first-hand experience and relationship with the place that they're caring for. Always come with aloha. Just come with humility, come with aloha, be open to giving, and then there's always reciprocity in that.
It's been an honor and privilege to learn from such amazing kumus and teachers, and I look forward to this journey of ongoing learning.
Some
students are using cinematic arts to shine light on environmental endeavors. Let's look through the lens of Preston and Chetta as UH Manoa students use film and storytelling to tell us what it means to be green on the screen.
Students of the School of Cinematic Arts at UH Manoa are participating in the Sustainability Pitch and Media Competition with the theme of local food production and consumption, turning creativity into impact. Professors and students find this as a challenge at being green on the screen.
The goal for sustainability is that we want people to be educated about issues of sustainability, and we want the public to start becoming engaged. It's a great opportunity for students to practice what they're learning at school, communicate really important ideas around sustainability through their media, and so they can choose what format, what genre they want to present it in. We're looking forward to seeing a wide range of styles and techniques.
Professors say they want students to learn how to communicate issues through filmmaking, and students are doing just that.
It makes me think of broader issues that I could tell, not just from my perspective, but also community's perspective, and really think about the films that I make, what will it impact? How will it go about in the future?
In a study conducted by the Climate Advocacy Lab, out of 250 of the most popular films released between 2013 and 2022, only 22% include explicit references to climate change or the climate crisis. And this competition aims to change that.
I think film is vital into showing a lot of these things, a lot of these issues, is because it gives the audience a chance to see what it's like from that perspective and see what's actually happening and see it from their eyes. What are things that needs to be fixed? What are problems that are occurring, and what can we do to help?
From pitch to production, students at the School of Cinematic Arts prove that sustainability isn't only just a theme. It's about learning to use their craft for something that matters.
Hawaii's landscape is full of inspiration. Jocelyn Rose shares how one student's local business has grown by using natural elements and sustainable practices.
Meet Jasmine Valoria, a marketing and economics major at the University of Hawaii at Manoa and the owner of her own business, So Local. Established in 2023 in Valoria's freshman dorm room, So Local has grown into a thriving business, one inspired by natural elements and rooted in sustainability.
One aspect of So Local that kind of differentiates it is each design starts with a story or value.
The designs of So Local clothing and accessories weave in a variety of natural elements, including lei making and the ocean.
I decided to implement storytelling within these designs to essentially create these living stories and a reminder to continue perpetuating local values and representing Hawaii no matter how far you go.
The popular Lepo'o design features distinct plants and colors to represent each of the Hawaiian islands. This design was released at Valoria's Made in Hawaii Festival booth.
Just as all these vendors from all the islands come together to create this one big festival, all these flowers and the Lepo'o kind of balances each other to create a beautiful lei.
On top of running her business, Valoria has a jam-packed schedule with an internship, a part-time job, and a position as club president of the Hawaii Student Entrepreneurs. But that doesn't stop her from running So Local pop-ups on her home island of Maui and across Oahu.
Discover Manoa is just one of the many places for a So Local pop-up.
No matter where she goes, Valoria has eager So Local customers.
I like how each design, it really just tells a story and dives deep into the history of Hawaii.
So Local products aren't just stunning. They're made sustainably.
I really emphasize made by Hawaii for Hawaii. All these collections passes through local designers, local printers, and then it's packaged by me, shipped by me. So all of it is done here just as much as possible.
She's excited to see where the future takes So Local while remaining committed to the values that she started her business with. To learn more, visit solocalhawaii.com.
There are many ways to be fashion forward while keeping our planet in mind. Stina Ledmark gives us tips on how to shop sustainably.
Here in Hawaii, the impact of environmental change feels close. Thrifting has become a simple but powerful way for students to make their everyday choices more sustainable. It's affordable,
creative, and it helps reduce growing amount of textile waste generated by fast fashion.
One of my favorite things about thrifting is that the unique pieces you find, so you don't really look the same as everyone else. Unlike shopping at H&M or Zara, you have a lot of the same pieces and then you look like very similar to everyone else.
For these students, thrifting isn't just about good deals.
So the journey of finding that piece, you kind of have to dig through everything, and then it's not just like going there and buying it right away, but you really have to look for it and like fight for it if you want like a proper cute top or jeans or whatever.
Giving clothes a second life doesn't just reduce waste. It also lowers the demand for new production, which is one of the biggest drivers of emissions in the fashion industry.
I am aware that the fashion industry is one of the most polluting industries there is, and being able to recycle pieces that people have bought is a great way to give a clothing item or any item a second chance.
Choosing secondhand is one practical step they can take.
I think it's really good if we reuse our clothes, and that means that we're slowing down fast fashion or like not supporting fast fashion.
Secondhand fashion shows how everyday decisions can make a real difference. It's inspiring to see how small changes can add up. Thrifting is just one example of small choices that can change the future of Hawaii.
What a great show!
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for our fall edition of the College of Social Sciences Digital Studios Eco Show 2025. I'm Savvy Andrews.
And I'm Jocelyn Rose. Mahalo for watching us, and here's to 2025.
See you next year.
Aloha!